Hello everyone, this is BSc second year lecture, Real Analysis part first. So in last lecture, we have discussed what is meant by closure, what is meant by dense set, what is meant by dense in itself, what is meant by dense in R. Now today I am going to discuss some important theorems. So our point 3.5, some important theorems. So first theorem that I am going to discuss with you is theorem 5. The statement of this theorem is a set is said to be closed. A set is said to be closed if and only if. So this is the notation of if and only if. This implies if and only if. A set is said to be closed if and only if its complement is open. Now the new word introduced in this statement, that is complement of a set. So before going to start the proof of this theorem, you must know what is meant by complement of the set. If A is a subset of R is a given set. If A is a subset of R is a given set, then complement of A is denoted by AC. Complement of the set A is denoted by this notation, which is nothing but R minus A. So remove all elements of A from our universal set, and then it is a complement of the given set, which is nothing but A complement is nothing but X belongs to R such that X does not belongs to A. So this is the complement of A. The set of, if A is a given set, then the complement of a set A is nothing but set of all elements of R such that these elements does not belongs to A. So this is the complement of the set. Now I am going to prove this theorem. Proof. Necessary part. We know that if the if and only if is introduced in the statement, then there are two possibilities, or there are two concepts which have to prove, that is necessary part and sufficient part. So necessary part of the statement. A set is said to be closed. Now let a set A be a closed set. Let S be a closed set, and S is a subset of R. So this is the necessary part. Let S be a closed set which is given, and we have to prove in necessary part its complement is open. Now in sufficient part we have given that its complement is open, and then we have to prove the set is said to be closed. That is if and only if, necessary and sufficient part. Let S be a closed set and S is a subset of R, and T is equal to R minus A. T is nothing but the complement of set A is complement complement of a set A. Complement of a set A. Sorry, S. Complement of a set S. And now we have to prove that T is open. We have to prove that T is open. We have to prove that T is open, where T is a complement of the set S and S is closed. Now we know that the definition of open set. Open set, S is said to be open if it is a neighborhood of each of its points, or every point of the open set is its interior point. Now take any point of T. X belongs to T, be any point or any element. Now if X belongs to T, then T is nothing but S complement, which implies that X does not belongs to S. This implies that X does not belongs to S, because X belongs to T and T is a S complement. This implies that X cannot be a limit point of S. Limit point of S, because S is closed, and we know the definition of closed set. A set is said to be closed if it contains all of its limit points. So X does not belongs to S. This implies that X is not a limit point of S, which is outside S. Therefore, it is not a limit point of S. If X cannot be a limit point of S, which implies that there exists a neighborhood n of X. This implies that there exists a neighborhood n of X such that n intersection S is nothing but empty set. That is, there is a no common point between n and S, because S is not a limit point of S. And we also know that n is belongs to T. N is belongs to T and X belongs to N, which is a subset of T. This implies that T is a neighborhood of a point X. T is neighborhood of a point X. If T is a neighborhood of a point X, if X is a T is a neighborhood of a point X, this implies that X is interior point of T. Interior point of T. This implies that T is open. T is open. And what is T? This implies that R minus S is open, and R minus S is S complement. This implies that S complement is open. So this is the necessary part of the theorem. Now I am going to prove sufficient part of this theorem. Sufficient part. Sufficient part of this theorem. This theorem is very important now. Sufficient part. Now in necessary part, we consider S is a closed and prove that the complement of a set S is open. Now let Other way around, T is nothing but R minus S, which is nothing but S complement. Let this T, that is S complement, is open, and we have to prove that S is closed, and we have to prove that the set S is closed, that is, it contains, and to prove the S is closed, we must prove that it contains all of its limit points. Now, let if possible a limit point zeta of S, a limit point zeta of S lies outside S, outside the set S. Let if possible the limit point zeta of S lies outside S, that is, zeta does not belongs to S, and which is a limit point of S. We know that the limit point of a set may or may not be the set, may or may not be the point of the set. So we assume this. Let if possible the limit point zeta of a set S, which is not belongs to S, which lies outside the set S. As T is open, there exists some neighborhood n of zeta which is contained in T, which lies in T, and thus contain no points of S, and thus contains no point of S, because the set T is open. Every point of the set T is its interior point, and every neighborhood of the point of the T is totally contained in T. So we can say that which lies in T and thus contains no point of S. This implies that if this is an empty set, n intersection zeta belongs to n intersection T is empty, this implies that zeta is not a limit point of S. Zeta is not a limit point. Zeta is not a limit point of a set S. And which is a contradiction? Because we have considered that zeta is a limit point of S, which is contradiction. Hence we can say that every limit point of S, every limit point of S lies in S, and this implies that S is closed. So this implies that S is closed. So this is the very important theorem in related to closed set. If we have to prove that any set is closed, then we use this theorem. If any set is closed, then only prove that its complement is open. Its complement is open. If its complement is open, then the set must be closed. Now some examples. Related to this theorem. Now consider open interval AB. Now, closed interval AB. Now, if S is a given set, which is a subset of R. Now, the complement of this set is S complement is nothing but R minus closed interval AB, which is nothing but X belongs to R such that X does not belongs to, so this is the notation of does not belongs to closed interval AB. So how can we write this set? So minus infinity to A open union A to infinity. So this is the S complement, and S complement, the union of two open sets is open, therefore S complement is open. And if its complement is open, then this implies that by the theorem S is closed. S is closed. Also we can discuss some other examples. Also from this theorem we can write one note which is very important. A set is said to be open. A set is said to be open if its complement is closed. If and only if its complement is its complement is closed. So this is the another theorem for the open set. If we have to prove the set is open, then only we have to prove that its complement is closed. For example, prove that the open interval AB is open, and we know that now open interval AB, then complement of the open interval AB. In open interval AB, both A and B does not belongs to this set, because these left end and right end both ends open. Now only we have to prove that its complement is closed, and if complements of this set is closed, then set must be open. Now complement of this S is nothing but open interval AB. S complement is nothing but R minus closed interval AB. We can write also X belongs to R such that X does not belongs to open interval AB. Now S complement we can also write S complement is minus infinity to A closed union B to infinity, and this set is closed because it contains all of its limit points, and this set is also closed because it contains all of its limit points, and union of two finite sets, finite closed sets is also closed. So S complement is closed set, therefore S is open set, because this statement says that a set is said to be open if and only if its complement is closed. Now theorem 10, only statement is given in the syllabus of theorem 10. Only statement. theorem 10, statement only. Set S, which is a subset of a set of real numbers, the supremum in bracket infimum of a bounded non-empty set of a bounded non-empty set S, which is a subset of a set of real numbers, when not a member of a set, when not a member of a set is limit point of a set S, is a limit point of a set S, is a limit point of a set. So understand the statement of this theorem 10. The supremum infimum, first consider supremum. The supremum of a bounded non-empty set S is a subset of R. When not a member of a set, then it is a limit point of a set. Now consider one example. Consider one example, the open interval AB. Now this set is a non-empty, this set is a non-empty, this set is a bounded, this set is a bounded, this set is non-empty. So all two conditions are satisfied this example of theorem. Now the supremum of set is supremum of S is B, infimum of S is A, and both does not belongs to this set. This statement says that the supremum of a bounded non-empty set S is a subset of R when not a member of a set is a limit point of a set. Also we can say that A and B both are the limit points of a set. So by this theorem we can say that A and B both are limit points of a set. So both A and B are the limit points of a set. So according to this theorem, the supremum A and supremum B and infimum A both does not belongs to this set. This set is non-empty and bounded. Upper bound is B, lower bound is A. So this example satisfies all the properties of the theorem 10. So we can directly say that both A and B are the limit points of this set. Now corollary depends on the theorem 10. Corollary the supremum infimum of a bounded set a supremum infimum of a bounded set is always member of the closure of the set, is always members of the closure of S. Closure of S, which is nothing but S closure. So it is, we can understand, if supremum and infimum of the bounded set does not belongs to the set, then according to theorem 10, these two elements are supremum and infimum are limit points of this set. So closure is what? Closure is nothing but S union S dash. It contains all its limit points. S closure contains all of its limit points. Then we can directly say that these two are the members of this closure of the set. So this was the corollary number. This is the corollary according or depends on the theorem 10. Now second corollary. The derived set of a bounded set is bounded. The derived set of a bounded set is bounded. The derived set means set of all limit points. What is derived set? Derived set means set of all limit points. Set of all limit points. So if the set is bounded, then its derived set is also bounded. Therefore, derived set of a bounded set is bounded. And also we know that if the set is bounded, then supremum and infimum exist. If they lies in the set, then they are the limit points. If they lies outside the set, then they are always a limit point. Therefore, a set of all limit points of a bounded set is bounded. This is the corollary. Again, corollary. A set S is bounded, then its closure is also bounded. A set S is bounded, then its closure is also bounded. Now, S closure is nothing but S union S dash. Now if the given set is bounded, then we prove that in corollary its derived set is also bounded. If these two sets are bounded, their union is also bounded. Therefore, its closure is bounded. So I am going to stop over here. Next concept, theorem 12, we are going to continue in next lecture. Thank you.